and it's also Thug is Free edition. Hey!
Listen, remember when Tory Lane's daddy?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Remember when Tory Lane's daddy was like, "This is a miscarriage of justice,"
Yep.
in his very Caribbean accent. Now I don't know what the goings on were, right? Like the things that brought these men to trial, because it wasn't just him, but I
Right.
don't know what the goings on were, what they were doing. I don't know. I don't know what's true, what's not true about what criminal activity happened. But what I do know,
Well, we know what what he was charged with.
I know what he was charged with. I'm saying I personally don't know whether he was guilty or not guilty is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they were doing, but the way the justice system works is that that's not really of significance if you bring something to trial and you don't do it with honesty and integrity. It doesn't matter.
What my esteemed co-host is trying to say in a lot of words is that you can charge niggas with whatever you want, but you got to be able to prove that shit.
You got to be able to prove it, and you have to be. It is of importance for attorneys to be, and whoever is involved in prosecuting, to do it to the letter of the law. So when things go a little haywire in court, which we saw happening for, I don't know, the better part of a year or
More than
longer,
that. More than that.
naturally, or maybe not naturally, because we don't all know how the legal system works, but this sort of thing would happen. It would come down to there's been too much mess, and now they got to make a decision on whether the mess taints the case or not. I feel like that's what a lot of the last few months have been, is just a whole lot of messy stuff with the judges. There were multiple judges. There were this, there were that. Bottom line here is that Thug is now at home. As of yesterday, he was put on 15 years probation.
Right. And so I want to read something about that, but first finish.
Right, because I was gonna say, if he stays on the straight and narrow, he won't see the inside of a jail cell. However, 15 years is a very long time, and that 15 years, that penalty comes with a hefty consequence. He could still end up in prison for 20 years if he doesn't stay on the straight and narrow. So, but
Okay.
congratulations to him, and apparently Mariah the Scientist, because they've been reunited over their love.
Yes. So technically, Thug is not free, which a lot of people are saying. Thug was sentenced to 40 years with a significant portion suspended. He will serve 15 years probation, with 5 years initially counted as time served. Right? So that's like 20, right? That's the idea. However, if he violates his probation, he will face an additional 20 years in custody.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets a little weird for me, because I'm happy that the trial is over. We have called it a circus. It has been a circus. It's been nuts. 3 judges, all type of crazy stuff. It's been bananas. And I'm glad it's over. However, truly, I wish there was a mistrial. Now, I understand that several times his defense attorneys asked for a mistrial with prejudice, meaning mistrial and y'all can never try us again.
Yeah.
It's over forever. Like with the Alec Baldwin situation, right? It was dismissed with prejudice. Now, that was denied. I wish that they took a mistrial instead, because it seems like this is still a sticky situation. Glass half full, yes. He's out of prison. He's no longer mandated to be in there, and he has 15 years of probation. However, if he gets caught slipping in any way, he's going to do 20 years. Yeah. That's a big deal. And I understand that people are happy that he's home, but let's not skip over what happens if he violates probation in any way. And let me be clear for those who don't have anyone in their life who has ever been on probation. There's mad shit you can do that violates probation.
Yeah.
It's a long ass list that belongs on a scroll.
You can show up late to meeting with your probation officer, and that could be your strike. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah. So that's what worries me. Not that I think he's some super thug gangster, not that I think he's the leader of a crime ring, not that I think he's a murderer. To me, what worries me is that this gentleman could be doing mostly everything right and do a little something wrong, and now he's got to do 20 years. That worries me. And I hope that does not happen. I think truly he deserved a mistrial. I am shocked that he did not get a mistrial, or rather they didn't take the mistrial. I guess they figured it's better to be on probation and be over with it than take the mistrial, but possibly go back to a second court case later on. And so that's their decision that they will have to live with. And if they agreed on it, and if Young Thug is happy, then I guess that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But that's my concern, although I am happy that he is no longer locked up.
Yeah. It was a long, long trial. They said it was one of the longest trials in history.
It was the longest trial in the state of Georgia, period.
Yeah. So it's good that they're able to put it to bed. I'm with you on that. I think it's very sticky. Because it's probably pretty easy for him to violate that probation, but also
violate, quote unquote.
Right, but I also kind of feel like it was designed that way.
Oh yeah, probation is exactly designed that way.
It's meant to rehabilitate you, so would hate to see for him to have to go down that road again, but hopefully that is not the case.